So guys, before I start this video, I really want to just, I want to make this crystal clear. The best thing you can do for yourself is just do your homework. Understand who you're dealing with and why you're dealing with that person. And then each deal is individual. So just, and these videos are strictly my opinion and of deals that's gone down in the past. And whether they're good deals or bad deals, and I've used different brokers, and I've used the same broker a few times on 4 or 5 different boats, and some of the deals are good and some of them are bad. It's just that's life. I owe all of you an apology, and here's why. I've been talking a lot lately, and I don't like being negative. But I've been talking a lot lately about different things and brokerages and surveyors and stuff like that. And I want to make something perfectly clear. I never say never. So there's nobody that I've done business with in the boating community that I would never say I would never do boating again. One of my philosophies is forget about yesterday. Today's what matters, and tomorrow never comes. With those 3 things, it just leaves me open to do anything today, if that makes sense. So when I say I'm not a big fan of some of the brokers, but some of these brokers are some of my best friends at the same token. And there's a lot of good ones out here. Now, when I'm in Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is where I commissioned Loop Princess, and I spent about 6 months getting it ready for Loop. And I did the same thing with Southern Estate, getting it ready for the Bahamas. So I did both of those boats here at this location. So I know a lot of the vendors. This is me personally. This is what I do. And what I do is if I own, and I'm just going to use this as an example, in the last few years, I've bought a brand new Nissan car, and that's Beverly's car. And I bought a brand new Toyota. That was my girlfriend's car. And that being said, where do I service these vehicles? So if Beverly calls me up and says, hey, the Toyota or the Nissan needs to be serviced, it goes to the Nissan dealer. If the Toyota needs to be serviced, it goes to the Toyota dealer. I don't care if it's a routine oil changes or any maintenance or service work, that's where they go, the dealerships. I've always been a dealership person. If I own a Chevy, I've owned several Chevys, I've owned Fords, Dodges, I've owned all of them, and all of these vehicles, even my old Dodge pickup truck, goes back to the Dodge dealer, or the Chevy dealer, or the Ford dealer. So it's no different with me in boats. So if I have a Grand Banks, let's say, it's an easy one, and I wanted to sell my Grand Banks, I would look up, and I happen to know that dealer, and I've dealt with her before, and I would say, hey, so-and-so, this is Captain Paul. I've got this Grand Banks that I want to sell. Where do I need to take it? What's the best location for you to show the boat? And how much is my slip fees? And that's where I'm taking the boat. I'm actually taking it there to sell. I will probably do a pre-survey on it, just exactly what I did on Southern Estate. No different. But this is me. This is how I sell things, and this is why I sell things. There's people that hold on to things, let's say, and there's people that sell things. And when I'm ready to sell something, I sell it, and I sell a decent product at a fair market value. So I call her up and I say, hey, I'm going to bring my Grand Banks in. What do you need me to do to it? Blah, blah, blah. The bottom, all the maintenance is done on it. Where do you want it? And who do I drop the keys off with? If I'm selling a Fleming, it goes to Burry Yacht Sales over in Stuart, Florida. If I'm selling a Beneteau Swift Trawler, it goes to the closest Beneteau dealer. There's a perfect example. The 29 Ranger, I told Stout, I says, hey, where should I take the boat? Where should you take the boat? The boat should go to the Ranger dealer if you're going to sell it. So, and as one of my clients, that's what I'd recommend. This Bayliner 4788 is going to go on the market. Once in a while, it seems like it happens once or twice a year, I'll get involved with the sale of a boat and I'll help the owner sell it or list it with the proper broker. And for me, the proper broker is the closest broker to here. Not necessarily, there's probably 5 or 6 of them right here next to Lulu's or Homeport Marina up here at the wharf. There's I think there's 2 different brokerages up there, and so I personally know one of them. I've done a few deals with one of the guys up there, and so I would go to him and I would say, hey, I got this 4788. It's over at the marina, but I would use a real broker, a reliable broker, one that has a good reputation, and he would be the closest one to the boat. It doesn't matter anywhere in the United States. If I couldn't take it to a actual dealer, that's the best place to sell your boat. But if I couldn't, then the next best thing is the closest person, closest broker to the boat. And I've done it several times over the last years. Some of the boats that when they don't sell, that's what I usually recommend to the client. When I go out there, I do some consulting or something like that. I'll say, hey, just get the closest local broker to list your boat. It's also a polite way, believe it or not, because this is my opinion. Again, anything that I say is just my opinion. Is the sellers are 10 times worse than the buyers, and they're the bad guys. Trust me. In the end, some of them. It's just like anything else, just like brokers, surveyors, all of it. And then my surveyors are, and again, this is personal. You can use a non-certified surveyor. There's lots of them out there. And there's lots of different certifications for these guys. But I personally I'm looking for a NAMS and SAMS. I've had a bad survey with a completely SAMS certified guy. He's probably one of the worst surveys I've ever seen. And he did a terrible job. The boat was in worse shape than he had. So it can happen. Just because it says NAMS and SAMS doesn't mean that they're the best of the best. But it means they had some type of education. They passed some type of a course. And typically the insurance company is looking for that stamp now. It's getting more and more crucial for that. But there are plenty of surveyors out there that can survey a boat and know what they're doing, that are not NAMS and SAMS certified, but it's just something I personally look for when I'm looking for a surveyor. So when you're buying a boat, you want to deal directly with each broker individually for each boat. So if that broker that has the listing on the boat is the broker that you want to use. And if you're using another broker, then you're using a buyer's broker. And that's just a no-no in my book, because A, it costs that broker money, and B, you're emotionally attached to another human being, which is a broker. And that's just it's not good. Does that broker have your boat? Did he get the listing for the boat? Did he do all the footwork and all that stuff? And the answer is no. He's just helping along, thumbing along, going along for the ride. He's got his hand out, thumb out, and he's just going along for the ride and to get a paycheck, and that's it. So he's more than likely, every single boat that I've ever purchased, whether I've used a broker or not, I have found on my own. And there was, in the very beginning, Loop Princess, if you guys remember, anybody goes that far back in the videos, I actually found that boat. Then I hired a broker to do the closing on it and afterwards. And in my opinion, if I had to do all over again, I would, because the paperwork is intimidating. You think, yeah, you need all these people and it's a great team and stuff like that. And they are, some of them are, but you learn who the players are and who you like to do business with. But at the end of the day, it's just filling out paperwork and sending it in and doing it to the proper authorities, which isn't that big deal. Sending the Coast Guard the correct paper for your boat. The problem that a lot of people don't understand is you got to have up-to-date paperwork. Like and a lot of these boats, you'd be surprised how many I get on, and they got like expired Coast Guard certification. Well, if that's the case, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the listing broker or you're a private seller or nothing. You can't sell a boat till that's straightened out. So then the seller has to get with the Coast Guard, straighten that paperwork out, then he can legally sell the boat. Which with a broker, he already knows that because he's pulled the background check on the boat to make sure that that's not an issue, even though sometimes it can be an issue. So you got to be really careful and pay attention to stuff like that. That's why you want to, sometimes you're protected by using a broker. I did in the beginning. But now I know that, you know, there's just a national website. You can go do all this stuff yourself if you want to. Or you can even like, there's some of the surveyors. I know of one in Florida where I can call him and say, hey, let's do a pre-survey inspection. And then he'll charge for pulling all these reports before you purchase the boat or even start the survey on the boat to make sure that that's all good. Then he may even go, sometimes I think it's like $250 he'll charge, and he'll go do a pre-walk of the boat to see if it's even worth surveying, because by the time you get a survey and you pay all your time to come out and everything like that, sometimes you're talking $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So sometimes it's cheaper to do that. Anyway, I want to be crystal clear about that. I hope that explanation helped you guys. If it didn't, leave your comments and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can.